Peace to the family. It's the Hood Mystic, representing www.hoodmystic.com. Here with a daily energy reading for February 10th, 2010. Just happy to be back. Have a lot to share, building on energy, but let's just keep it current. Let's keep it present. Today, we're referencing forgetting the past, kicking this thing off. We're also talking about the moon transit in Leo throughout the day. We're talking about latent abilities, creating new memories, engaging in the body, and really dealing with this information in a way that we're able to realize it. And one of those ways we fully realize this spirituality is through forgetting the past. And this might seem archaic, this might seem barbaric, this might seem unreasonable, but when we reference our future and we reference our success, none of that can happen in the past. So why do we keep our mind there? You know, and I know some things are easier said than done, but then some things are easier if you just say it. You know, it's so easy to say things. It's so easy to become calm. It's so easy to become relaxed that it's a wonder why people don't do it. And more than likely, it's because they're trapped in a past situation, a past ideal, a past idea, something that they really wanted in the past. And now when you enter new information, it is hard to it's hard for it to sink in. So with this daily energy reading, hopefully we can bring some realization to this, we can bring some peace to this, because what it stems in is anxiety. And if we have anxiety, if we are dreading the future, for real, like anxiety is dreading the future. So if we're having, all of these wonderful spiritual talks about how great life is about to be, but in this present moment, I have anxiety, then we're playing a trick on ourselves, a very evil trick that, we might have been playing on ourselves for years and years and years. But as we deal with this Saturn-Pluto conjunction and this time shift, what we're feeling internally is the root chakra activating in real time. Hopefully, your root chakra is activating and you can actually feel the sensation of the perineum muscle vibrating, just aligning like a cosmic mating call, if one would, and really bringing that cosmic connection between you and the divine. So if your root chakra is not activating on its own, you might want to kind of jumpstart that baby, prime that baby by doing the root lock. Google ROOTLOCK, root lock, and work on those. Some call it Kegels, and this isn't for females, this is for males and females. All of us get into that root lock, get into that bandha lock, activate that root chakra, and get that connection to earth. See, when we bring our consciousness different places, say for instance our root chakra, then our mental instability, our anxiety can exist in those moments. So this is why, one of the reasons why balancing and activating the chakras are important. But another part of this is forgetting the past. So let's just talk about it. Peace to the family. I'm happy that everybody's here this morning. How is everyone doing? Hopefully you got your coffee, your tea, your water. You giving thanks to the ancestors first and foremost, right? For the guidance and the wisdom. Because when we reference life and we reference positive occurrences in our lives, it's based upon the wisdom and the guidance from the ancestral forces, because it gets to a point like, damn, I would have never rationally got into this place, but then I started doing this spiritual work, spiritual development. I started following my intuition, and now I'm in a favorable space. So give thanks first and foremost. Grand rising to the family. So when the purpose of this video is centered in motivation, lucid thought, high mood, high vibration, high frequency, love, passion, just good, the future to be bright, you understand, and all of these things. I feel this being successful. Some people have big old houses and are successful. Some people have tiny houses and are successful, right? That's a thing. Tiny houses, Google that, okay? So when we think about our personal version of success, is it something that we've created, or is it something that has been given to you? And if you don't know, if you're not aware because you're on Instagram a lot, or you're on Facebook, or whatever these things are, then it's important that you realize what it is that would make you the most comfortable and the most happiest. That's another reason why forgetting the past is so important, because it then allows you to figure out what you want, right? So, ultimately, we have this ability to really transmute our energy, alchemize our energy into whatever we desire. And the only block that you might have to that notion is that, well, in the past, that hasn't been the truth. So who are you to tell me that? I know that I can't manifest what I desire. I'm out here anxious. People out here hating on me. People out here hexing me, putting generational curses on me, blocking me from my blessings to a mystic. I need to see a root worker. I can't forget the past. The past got a hold on me. So, we really want to talk to this new vibration and new energy as we're dealing with literally the first moon of 2020. That actual lunar eclipse was kind of like a doozy within itself, and now we're just kind of in this new time, like, hey, the moon didn't explode, I'm still here. We made it through, they did a lot of sacrifices and things of that nature, of particular energy, and we made it through the storm. And now what? We could either fight over crumbs or be anxious over crumbs, or figure out that, damn, we out here fighting over crumbs. Ain't that something? So it's what I'm basically trying to say is establishing a reevaluation of what it means to be successful, and that takes some inner work. Okay, so we're just going to talk about this in the realms of astrology. And astrology is not necessarily talking about stars, even though it could be. But if I was to sit here and talk about stars all damn day, that would not help you. That just wouldn't help you. Okay? What we need to talk about is how those actual stars connect to the human body. And once we make those connections to the human body, we begin to heal those forgotten things, that dark art of the body, that unawareness, because we've become so existential, so materialistic, even in our spirituality. We only want to deal with spirituality when it nets us positive things. Everybody has a website, everybody has some things that they're selling in the name and realm of spirituality, and even though there's nothing wrong with that, there has to be a reevaluation of, is this your life? Is this who you are? Or is it something that you feel like is an opportunity, something that will be good for you? And so we have a lot of friends, a lot of local friends that felt like, when you come to our home, this is our life. This is my life. This is my life, okay? Whether their internet existed or not, I'll still be chopping up astrology with my wife and exploring this universe with mystery. whether the internet existed or not. Okay, so beyond that, this is still my life. So once they engage with us, they might take some ideas and then try to corporatize it based upon their network, and then they deal with particular maladies and certain mental disabilities and mental effects based upon dealing with the energy that they're not really aware of, but they think that it's a hustle. See, this shit will break you down if you talk about spirituality with a context, with an ulterior motive, with a way to get something out of it. So, whether I'm homeless, whether I'm rich and famous, whether it all points in between, I give it up to the ancestors and the guides before I even talk to y'all on this live, before I talk to my wife, before I kiss my kids, before I even recognize myself as an individual. I give it up to the individuals who've had transition, and then provide me guidance and knowledge in this very moment. So that's my overall process. So I'm just sharing and giving it up for, the morning time and the, not necessarily the morning, but the rising, if we want to be actual and factual about it. So yeah, latent abilities versus materialism. So we have the moon in Leo, which is ruled by your spinal cord. Leo becomes one of the most prominent signs in astrology based upon its placement and alignment with the regular star. I told you I wasn't going to talk about stars. I'm going to talk about the human body, okay? So even if I'm talking about stars, what is a star? Based upon the actual wordage of it. And how does the word star connect to the human body? Well, it connects through the modality of astro. Astro don't necessarily mean far away. Astro is something. So when you talk about cells, you talk about neurons, you talk about all of these things, you talk about like multitudes of cells and atoms that consist in your human body. And if we were going to rank, like, what is the most prominent thing that makes a human being, the word would come up: astrocyte. ASTROCYTE. That is the most plentiful neurotransmitter. Is beyond a neurotransmitter, is what allows a neurotransmitter to transmit the astrocyte. So if we are talking about the greatest star in the sky, we're talking about Regulus. So basically, all I'm talking about is energy that rests in your brain and your spine. The most plentiful existence, the thing that allows energy to travel from the base of your spine, that root chakra, to your brain, is called an astrocyte. Okay? So our mere existence is relied upon astrocytes, which just means star cell. Okay? So Leo represents the spinal cord. Okay? Regulus is the most prominent star. So once the moon transits Leo, that means the alignment, which happens every 28 days, if we're aware of the cosmic connection between the astro, which is, constellations out in the sky, computer apps that monitor whether shit is in Gemini or Taurus, etc., so forth and so on. That's a fact. But there's also shit that goes on internally that we're completely unaware of. So me having this conversation is an awakening to latent abilities. Everything that I said could be referenced and researched on your own time to verify whether I'm just making shit up or I'm actually speaking shit that can be referenced in real time. So all of this of what I referenced has nothing to do with materialism and the shit that you want to manifest. Or maybe it has everything to do with the shit that you want or manifest, but you just looking at it from a outside looking in perspective, when it's really from the inside looking out, when it could be the inside looking in. So when we look at these diagrams online and we look at the placements and the full moon and the articles and the videos about specific astrological things, we know we're talking about our astrocytes or our astrological or our star body. Okay? Just breakthroughs. Okay? So even more so, the moon in Leo is opposing Mercury in Aquarius. Mercury being the ultimate truth to our existence, our trade, whether we're going to be successful or not, the things that we need to do to be successful, and we know what we need to do to be successful. Everyone knows what they need to do to be successful, but does everyone do what they need to do to be successful? No, they don't. So they just, it's not necessarily about getting a reading. It's not necessarily about talking to somebody, and it could be all about that stuff, but generally what happens is a confirmation. And once you accept that confirmation, hopefully that confirmation allows you to act upon what you already know. So do you need a reader to get your shit going? No. But do they help? Yes. But is it going to get the job done for you? Absolutely not. It's still going to take you to get up on the ball and do something about it. Okay, that's how you rectify an opposition. When we see both sides of the shit, I got latent abilities, I got astrocytes in my central nervous system, I got meditation, I got awareness, I got clear cognizance, I got clairvoyance, I got connections to the ancestors, I got higher selves, I got guardian angels, I got archangels, I got a plethora of spiritual resources to deal with. But let me focus on this shit that I want, that I probably don't got, and I probably will never get. Oh, and then let me get it because I want it so bad. I'll go outside of myself, i.e. get credit, loans, so forth and so on, to get what I truly want, right? Now I owe a whole bunch of people, or they gonna take the shit that I want. That's okay. Now they took it. Now I need somewhere to live. Now I got a place. It's smaller than the house that I had, but they took it away. Now you understand how your initial desires for shit is creating anxiety that it's like a hunger that'll never be satisfied. And if it ever gets to a point where you ever going to be satisfied, it is going to be learning yourself. And then once you figure out what actions that need to take, they're going to be in alignment with the shit that's the truth of what you need to do. You know what you need to do. This is Mercury in Aquarius. So part of this is forgetting the past. But you see how I'm not necessarily talking about what past to forget or how to forget the past or anything to that effect. So generally, it's not about forgetting the past, because you can't forget the past. That's kind of like a play on words. But in theory, in essence, me and my wife, we was chilling, and we kind of been going back to the library, and we got this book, and I was just kind of skimming through it, and it was like this section called Forget the Past, and I fell asleep on it. It just stuck with me, and it's still with me. You know what I'm saying? It's just something that when you hear it, you don't necessarily know like how to really maneuver with it or how to process it, but it seems really valid to me if I really want to move forward. And then I seen the quote, "No one is successful in the past." That's very true. I don't know how you become successful in the past. So with those two things, I don't have a lot of information. I could get into a lot of information about radical forgiveness, so forth and so on. But what I'm trying to do is take the prompts from spirit, right? Forget the past. That resonated with me deeply to my core, so I just held it. And then I started to do my investigations, and so that led me to Moon trine Jupiter and Sagittarius, where Jupiter rules the hippocampus, the amygdala. Y'all know. Disclaimer, English is my second language. Ebonics is my first. Okay, so I'm here talking to communicate to people all across the country, but this is not my normal language. So sorry, if we gonna talk some hood shit, I'm fluent in hood vernacular. I'm trying my best right now. So moving on. See, and I'm supposed to forget the past. I shouldn't even reference that, but understand this is a fresh idea. I don't expect anybody to master the art of forgetting the past, but we're just planting a seed, basically. Because when you plant this seed and you understand the amygdala, the hippocampus, the limbic system, the fight or flight mechanism, how we are in fight or flight mode all the time. Ain't no lions chasing us. Ain't no bears chasing us. We done locked our door. Locked it, the back door locked. All the windows locked. Alarm system. You got a gun under your bed. Gun in your closet. Still scared. That's the limbic system off, So imagine this perpetual problem that radiates throughout the whole country, this perpetual fear of something that don't nobody even understand what they even afraid of. And then that fear having babies. And by this time, that those babies having babies. So when did this fear, this perpetual fear start? It started from lions, tigers, and bears. And as we evolved as a species, we still create and hold that, primal fear. And until we have the conversation that, hey, look, y'all, ain't no lions, tigers, or bears around. At least not now. Let's calm down. And so maybe you can't necessarily do that because when you're thinking about the shit that you possess and your job, because you gotta work to maintain the shit that you want. You gotta work very, very hard just to maintain the things that you want. So therefore, when it comes to peace, it's hard to come by. And if you go and perpetually watch all these YouTube videos, watch all this Instagram shit, somewhat the Facebook stuff, you will act like your life ain't good enough. You ain't doing enough. You ain't bout it enough. You don't travel enough. You ain't cute enough. You don't got enough money. You don't got enough cars. But once again, are you dealing with the internal dialogue? Are you taking the time to meditate? Are you taking the time to be grateful for what you've already worked for? It's a lot. Let's just move this over here. So the reason that I'm referencing the hippocampus, you gotta watch the Aries and Emperor archetype video that I got out where we align Jupiter to Ammon's horn. Ammon's horn is the hippocampus, is critical for acquiring new memories and consolidating short into long-term memories. So we're building upon something by having a particular program to actually have new memories. And the way that we have new memories is to learn. We learn from information, we learn from books and things of that nature, but that's the easy level. That's very comfortable for us to open up books and study and do things like that. What do we actually learn? We learn from individuals. And we learn from individuals with no expectations. The first picture that I had, but I put the wrong date, and I guess Spirit was telling me, you don't got to put that picture on there. I had like some emoji characters, and it had a girl, and she had like chains, and the chains was wrapped around the dude, and she was walking towards, she was walking forward, but she was trying to carry the dude with the chain. Trying to bring the ain't shit nigga into 2020, but it's just too heavy. It's too much. So therefore, And that could be cross-gendered and multi-gendered. Whatever relationship that you got that ain't shit, you need to let it be in 2019. And in 2020, you might just need to let everything go and acquire new memories and learn from different people. Create boundaries. Because Saturn is transiting into Capricorn, there's no way you can go into relationships all the way trusting. Trusting is fine. I'll trust you 1,000% as long as there's boundaries. With all relationships, with your children, with your partner, with your business partner, with your accountant, and with your lawyer, with everybody. Nobody should just be able to just walk in on your life and walk in on your peace, because what are we doing? We're, first of all, trying to get inner peace, first of all. And a lot of people are like, well, I don't necessarily need inner peace, I need money. It's the wrong video, because there's millions of videos on YouTube. You can type how to get money, how to make $100 in a day, how to make $40 in a day, how to take 20,000 surveys for $10. And once you do the $10, you can't cash out at $10. You need to get $25. So now you got to do 40,000 surveys for $25. What I'm saying is that it's videos like that. How to make money. But I'm 35. I know a lot of people. I experienced a lot of things, and I say all that to say, money don't make you happy. My first spiritual experience that I could remember was this park that I used to walk to. And I seen like the flyest bands I ever seen. And this dude was sitting over by the pond. He was just crying. He was a old Chinese man. He was just crying. And I felt it from my heart. Like, this dude is sad. And I just started talking to him like, hey man, what's going on? How you feeling? Da-da-da-da-da. It's like, all this money I got. I'm just so sad. Everybody used me, da-da-da-da-da. And I'm just like, this was when I was a Christian. So I was like, I'll pray for you. Do you want to pray? You know what I'm saying? And so we prayed together. And he just felt really, really good. You know what I'm saying? So he was just like really thankful and appreciative. And I felt like he had some kind of life brought back into him. Because I just wanted him to not be in that pain. So that was kind of one of my first experiences. But moving into like the present moment, even in having that conversation, just being in like the space-time continuum of like there is no real past, future, it's only the present moment. I literally feel that energy, which I've forgotten that story from then till just now in this conversation. So I guess when we forget the past, we allow the past to show up as it needs to show up, and when shit do actually show up, we can really be like, okay, I need this, based upon the shit that you just simply fixated on, and the shit that's creating anxiety, because the hippocampus and the amygdala, okay, got it right that time, is very much the creators of anxiety. So like I tell you, man, I don't necessarily know where all this stuff comes from when we do these daily energy readings, but we just do them. And throughout the months, people always reference them like it's not even the day of doing this energy, but it'll be like 2 years later, people's like, oh, thank you for this. That's just what I needed. So hopefully when you do find this video, it's in right resonance with you. And just because I'm doing it live don't necessarily mean that is in alignment for you. Maybe you still got more growing up to do and more cycling through bullshit to get to the truth, and I'm okay with that. But here we are dealing with the human body, and we're dealing with anxiety, because within more than enough confirmations, I'm dealing with a channel through Obatala, and the energy of Obatala is telling me to connect with the ancestors through clean water, spring water, if you want to be specific, but that spring water and the transference between the spring and the dirt and the connection of waking up first thing in the morning and giving your ashes to those who transition before you focus in on, I gotta go to work, I gotta get dressed, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, because all of that is bullshit. The real shit that's coming online is the ancestors and the guides. And if you can't have a mental connection with the ancestors, I mean, you can. I'm not saying what you can or can't do, but the trouble is there's a connection in action, there's a connection in heart. The connection in mental is just variable. It can change. You could think about it, you could forget about it, you could go through all of these particular things. But if you acted on it and you emotionally vibrate into a particular thing and you doing like a new ritual or a new thing, then you know you initiating some changes in your life. You initiating some awakenings in your life. And I'm saying all of this to reference Uranus and Aries because the moon is trine Uranus and Aries. Let me see if I can bring it up. So we got the moon in Leo, and then crossed over we got the moon trine Uranus and the moon trine Jupiter. So it's just kind of like an arrow where it's coming out in 3 different ways. Pause. So yeah, we're gonna deal with some anxiety. I did some etymology research on anxiety. But before we get that, kind of give us like a build up or a lead up to where we at now. We're dealing with a particular alignment. In alignment, it just takes you moving into the right space. It don't take you being smart, beautiful, sexy, none of that. It just takes you knowing where to go and what to do. And the way that we align with the external world is when we align with ourselves. And so by aligning with ourselves is not aligning with the external world or the materialistic world. We align with our true self. And when we align with our true self, we allow ourselves to create new memories. The trick is that we wake up and we do the same thing over and over and over and over again. And we imagine it to be a new day. But since we don't understand our inner dialogue, our inner makeup, our inner biology, and we're not having the conversations because we're all working towards this existential utopia, this perfect world that don't exist, we create the anxiety that we're not living up to a particular expectation that don't exist. So if you can't see the trick in the expectation not being real, then you find yourself falling for the trick every day, attempting to reach a level that you're already at and beyond, because within you is more than you could ever imagine. Through your meditation, through your conscious awareness, is more than you could ever imagine. But you constantly fixate on the external world, what you got, what you don't got, what your friends got, what your mama got, what everybody got, what you don't got, what you trying to get, how many subscribers, how many views, all of this existential bullshit that means nothing. Numbers, money, dollars, man-made thoughts that keep humanity blocked from who they truly are. So because we don't necessarily know who we are, we deal with the anxiety based upon that actual fact. So let's just deal with it. We still dealing with the fight or flight, dealing with the amygdala, the hippocampus. And anxiety just represents an apprehension that there's some danger or misfortune or error that's going to take place. And since we're apprehensive, we're uneasy in the mind. And when you're uneasy in the mind, your results, which are probably certain to be successful, within your mind you create the uncertainty. And that dread that you experience from not doing things, it stops you. And it's all about this future place, this future thing that never exists. But you don't know that because there's a perpetual trick. And this world is very beautiful, blissful, bountiful, and abundant. But since the majority of us live with anxiety, we don't get to see that. We don't never get to experience this beautiful, abundant, bountiful place for what it is. Because we're focused on what we don't have and what we're trying to get, and we don't understand the connection between the cosmos and the primordial astrocytes that rise up and down that allows our neurotransmitters to see. There's a deeper level beyond a deeper level and a deeper level that is assisting you and guiding you to your bliss. But if you ignore it, then you're on this perpetual negative feedback loop called life, called society, that is designed in such a way to keep you one step away from your goal, one step away from your bliss. And since we don't understand that between us and our inner truth, there is no roadblocks, that's too easy, that's too simple. So we'll imagine that in the future, in the external world, there has to be something negative that's holding us back. There has to be something that's blocking us from our truth. But the reality is there is nothing that is holding you back from your truth, your bliss, your calm. It takes you to put that first, to put your mental state and emotional balance and emotional intelligence as a priority, as opposed to your financial wealth and things of that nature. So here are some tips to kind of conclude this talk or this stream of consciousness to ease with the anxiety. Take some time out to relax and be calm, because when this takes place, our hormones really balance out, and when our hormones are balanced out, our mood increases. And if our mood is increased, our anxiety and our mood can't exist in the same space. You never can be very much in a good mood and be anxious at the same time. It just those two things don't exist. Another thing is sleep. Part of these daily energy readings is a practice in getting enough sleep, to wake up early enough in the morning to be refreshed, recharged, and available to come through with some information and not be like, yo, I'm tired of this shit right now. I didn't get no sleep. I'm just out here. But nah, for me, it's about getting enough sleep, because I know personally when I get enough sleep, I'm much more sharper and I just overall feel better about life. So if I'm taking care of business, there's no reason for me to be anxious. If I'm waking up late and just feeling out of it, like feeling like I didn't do something or I'm missing out on something, then that creates some anxiety within myself. Another thing is learning how to really breathe deeply, mindfully, and consciously. The power to breathe deeply and bring your awareness to your breath is at least taking your awareness off your thoughts for however long you do that. So as much as you can do that, as little as you can do that, it's all for the good, because it's all about taking your awareness from your brain to other parts of the body. Another thing is be patient with yourself. Rome wasn't built overnight, nor is your overall conscious and spiritual development. I'm 36 years old, and I know it seems like I'm a young person. I sound young. I kind of probably look young, but I'm 36, and I've been really into spiritual technology and spiritual development since I was 19. I was locked up in prison when I was 19. So from 19 to 26, I've been really taking this energy and this information very serious. So that's close to 20 years. And I'm still learning stuff, still having breakthroughs. So even with me just simply talking to myself, I have to be patient with myself and my spiritual development. And I talk to so many people where they're just kind of getting aware of this information like 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago. So what I would say when it comes to spiritual development is just to be increasingly patient with yourself. Do everything that you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Don't imagine that it's some aesthetic, some way of life that is going to be better or worse based upon spiritual information, because in my understanding, it's all bullshit. At the end of the day, and the only thing that's true is you. So have a real relationship with yourself. Do what you like and do who you like, if you know what I'm saying. Another thing is, finally, bring your conscious awareness from your brain to your heart. I've said that on countless videos, and I'll say it on countless more videos. If we can bring our consciousness from our brain to our heart, that would subside a lot of trouble. That would help with a lot of manifestation. It's just a lot of things that make your life a whole lot easier once you stop penetrating and concentrating on your thoughts and bring your conscious awareness to your heart. You don't gotta meditate to do this. You can do this at work. You can do this on the go. You can do this while you're driving. You can do this while you're sleeping. You can do this while you're talking. You can do this while you listen to this YouTube video. It's just as simply as bringing your conscious awareness to your heart, and this is going to ease your anxiety by 60. And then also 5-HTP, because 5-HTP or tryptophan, because 5-HTP turns into tryptophan, tryptophan turns into serotonin, serotonin turns into melatonin, and melatonin is how we balance our shit out. If we don't have that melatonin, if we don't have that mood stabilizer, if we ain't eating the right stuff, because they purposely take tryptophan out the diet, they purposely take lithium out the diet so we can have these hormones be off balance and be worried about the wrong shit. So 5-HTP, I take it every day, at least once pill, just start my day if I don't take nothing. It helps with the dreams, helps with a lot of stuff, and that was my daily energy reading for this morning. Do want to open up the phone lines to the family, so this number that's on the screen right here, 385-799-9560. If you got any comments or questions, I'll probably take questions for another 30 minutes. I'm gonna definitely sip some of this coffee though, and see if y'all want to add into the conversation, but drop some comments.
There is one.
Does smoking weed affect you for smoke? It depends on the person, honestly. Like, I honestly feel like it definitely depends on the person. Just the same. Come on, bro. You do not have to act like that, bro. Maybe John need to smoke some weed or something, cause he is tripping. Like, what the? Your brothers, come on. John just had a baby moment. Yeah.
I'm somebody out and I don't know how to undo it.
And if I timed you out, I'm sorry. My son did that, not me. But yeah, I don't necessarily know if smoking weed help you or don't help you. But it's definitely a neurotransmitter called GABA that you could take. GABA, GABA, which is the neurotransmitter, the reason why you even smoke weed. So if you take GABA capsules, like I got a pack of 100 capsules for $13. I'm like if you take half of your GABA supplements every day, you know what I'm saying, by the time, and if you can smoke weed and take GABA supplements at the same exact time, right, by the time you get halfway through, you're gonna realize that you smoking weed for nothing. Because it's not the weed that gets you high, it's the neurotransmitter release that gets you high, and the whole real purpose why some people smoke weed and some people don't smoke weed and things of that nature is based upon that neurotransmitter. Some people, you ever notice, don't smoke weed at all. They do everything that a weed smoker do. You understand? Because obviously that GABA neurotransmitter is activating and firing on all cylinders. On all cylinders, I tell y'all. But yeah, GABA. If you smoke weed and if you don't want to smoke weed, you want to save money on smoking weed, definitely grab a GABA supplement. They sell it at most health food stores. GABA, GABA. Peace, you there?
Yes, sir. Yes, I'm the dude. My name Dion from Detroit, Michigan. I'm the one that asked you a question about the weed.
Yeah.
Smoking weed.
Yeah, did you hear what I said?
I heard pieces of it. You said your son probably needs to smoke some weed.
Oh. I did say that, but no. What I was saying is, I'm gonna repeat it because it's like I used to smoke weed or whatever, and what helped me is because I was just looking on stuff online, and I was looking on something where somebody said like GABA, the supplement, if you take it, it ruins the effect of weed. Like, you don't even get high off it no more. So I just tried it, bro. So it's like you take the supplement 2 times a day. At first it's nothing, but then once you would notice, like, if you take the supplement and keep smoking, you'll notice like, damn, this shit is like literally a cigarette. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's more or less of the feeling that you get from weed and the neurotransmitters that it releases. That's really the reason why we smoke. So getting that into balance, and it just depends on your tolerance and maybe your personal preference at that point, whether you're going to smoke weed or not.
Okay, so let me explain why I asked the question.
Sure.
Because, like, when I smoke weed, on everything, or even when I get in the shower, like, that's like part of my morning ritual. Mm-hmm. I smoke me a blunt, I smoke me a hemp wrap, and then I hit the shower. Now, I understand that water is an intelligent substance. So every time I'm in the shower or I'm under the influence of weed, I can get messages. Mm-hmm. Like, I receive messages from, like, ancestors, like my grandmama, my mama, and I'll be wondering, like, is that real or am I tripping? Because, like, in my mind, I can hear them for who they was, like, they voice, and to recognize who they are. And then when I come to, like, one time I was really emotional and just started crying and didn't understand the reason why I was crying. And then I could hear, like, my grandma in the back saying, baby, just calm down, it's okay. You ain't tripping. So I'm like, I started listening to you, and I'm like, man, so I can't be tripping, dog. In Ohio, I'm in Detroit, so I know this shit got to be, I ain't tripping.
Yeah, my wife from Detroit. My wife from Detroit, born and raised. So that connection, and I got an ancestral connection to Detroit. What I would say, bro, is that the ancestors live through you. The ancestors are in your blood. So that's right and exact. And if marijuana, which ain't nothing wrong with it, you know what I'm saying, if that supports you and helps you along that journey, like, it's hella worse things that people do for, like, spiritual progress and things of that nature. People spend like thousands and thousands of dollars for a transmission from their grandmother, you feel me what I'm saying? And you might, take a little puffs of the herb, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know how much mediums and things of that nature cost, like, for real, like, the real people out here doing it, they get thousands of dollars upon thousands of dollars, bro. So if you feel like, you know what I'm saying, that's your trigger or that's your trip to get you to your connection, and another way to make it real is if you write it down. If they give you valid information, you write it down, you apply it, and when you apply it, that shit work, then that's the same as a business, that's the same as a school, that's the same as anything, bro. If you got something that's working for you, the only way you know that it's real is if you working it in some way, form, or fashion. So even if it get to a point where, what I'm saying, don't resonate, ask the ancestors, like, well, help me in this life thing, you know what I'm saying? Because they got connections here, they got connections there. So ask them questions,
Right.
bro.
Okay, I got one more question.
Sure.
So when you was doing the archetype for the astrology for the archetype, so are you saying that each sign represents, even though each sign is different, but each sign represents all of us in a totality?
100%. 100%. I mean, like, the only way that is, but even at an etheric level, because I know people have certain procedures that they kind of worry about, like, well, what if I get this cut off or I get that cut off? Well, you still have it at an etheric level, meaning, like, you ever notice, like, when people who don't have, like, on wheelchairs, they have dreams, and they was like, oh, I had this dream where I was walking, right? Because that mean at an etheric level, their legs are still existing attached to them. They just might not be here on a physical level. So all of our physical body parts have those same modalities. And overall, what I'm trying to say is that your human body is very much of a wonderland of marvel. You understand what I'm saying? That before we can even start to talk about the stars or see if I'm a Taurus or I'm a Virgo or I'm a Gemini, do you even understand your body? You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that that shit ain't valid. I'm saying that, can we get the basic shit first? And that was really the purpose of that series.
Yeah, because that was really, really deep. Like, I started sharing it to all my people. I'm like, listen, I say, you could be a Taurus and all that. I said, but my man is breaking it down to all the hood niggas where you can understand, like, you might be a Taurus, but Taurus also stand for something else. Like, one word has many meanings.
Facts.
Many meanings. So
Facts.
you don't wanna get stuck on one situation. Now on some hood shit, I would like to know, like, what is your aura?
Okay. So your aura on some hood shit is, I give you an example and you would know exactly what I'm talking about. You ever was a young boy out in the streets or whatever, or you was from like a hot block or whatever, and it's like the police, and maybe it wasn't you, but it was like, damn, they keep arresting that nigga like every time, bro, like he just got out and they keep arresting him. Do that sound like a reasonable situation?
No.
You ain't never heard of no situation like that before, or a person just constantly?
Yeah. I thought you meant.
Not you.
I understand what you mean.
Okay.
I heard it wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, I got you.
All right. So that's a person's aura. He always getting locked up. Now, aura is our etheric body, our attraction body, our causal body, meaning that the relationship that we got with ourselves, I hope the police don't catch me today, versus I'm gonna get this money, I'm gonna do this, gotta go see my mama, I gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just have a whole aura plan about your whole day, and when people come interrupting that, you like, man, damn, like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, because your whole energetic body is focused towards something else, and it ain't focused towards anything else. So everybody have an auric field, everybody got a plan, everybody got a cause, and certain people see it, you know what I'm saying? It'd be like a negative entity that might see it. It'd be like, all right, let me fuck it. You know what I'm saying? You ever notice things, how sometimes certain people only reach out to you when you're going through certain things, because that's your auric field.
Yeah. Like people call me. I ain't talked to these niggas in years, and they'll call me and be like, man, I'm going through such and such. And I will have an answer for him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I will have a message for him, and I give it to him, but then I will go outside, and somebody will say something to me, and I don't even know him, and I will have an answer for him. And then one day I said something, and inside of me, I heard a voice say, others discover you most plainly than you discover yourself. And I'm like, well, what does that mean? You know what I'm saying? And later on, I kind of like meditated on it. I went to Inkster and I meditated. And it's like it was like I had a astral projection. Like, I went to a future of myself. And I was in a hotel room with a 3-piece suit with a bow tie on. And I had a chance to sit down and talk to myself and tell myself, like, dog, you fucking up. You need to start telling people everything that you feel on inside of you because that's your message. So I'm like, damn. All right, then I started listening to Abraham Hicks. And Abraham Hicks will talk about how your attention is your energy. And like whatever you focus on is your situation for law of attraction. But then you came out and was like, fuck law of attraction. And I'm like, oh man, I'm confused.
I guess because I guess I'm a double back to what you were saying, because as a young man I had situation, not even a young man, when I first met my wife, me and her traveled to West Virginia and we went to this hotel room. It was like a real crazy, like it was like a crazy hotel room, and we had like some substantial dreams because we used to just mounds. We used to just travel to go to mounds. But as we was leaving there, my wife was driving. I remember it vividly. I never forget it. I came to myself. I was clean, boy. I was like, my beard, it felt like my beard was sparkling and some more shit. I'm just like, damn, who is this? You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, like, if I go ever get to this level or whatever the case may be. So I'm looking at myself and I'm telling myself all of the stuff that you said, like, bro, you need to get your shit together. You out here really wilding and you ain't even profiling. Like, you just out here doing the worst. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, get your shit together, stick with this girl because you ain't never done no shit like this with nobody else. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is, you know, just kind of.
I'm going through that same shit. I'm going through the same shit right now. Like, right now. My whole life did a 360, bro, all because I built a relationship with myself. I listened. That's what brought me to you. I'm like, man, this nigga hood, because I can't understand this other shit. This other shit is confusing.
Right,
and then when you was like, fuck law of attraction, I was like, yeah, fuck law of attraction, because I am the attraction.
Yeah, you are the attraction. You know what I'm saying? If it's a law of attraction that has you, you know, poor, then fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what I'm saying? Sometimes people break the law. You understand what I'm saying? And sometimes people have a whole career, a whole life, a whole lineage of breaking the law. And this is they claim to fame. You know what I'm saying? Throughout the history, changing the world is literally somewhat of breaking the law. Because if we judge the law of attraction on right and exactness, right, the world is a law of attraction place. Well, 99% of the world's income go to 1%, and the rest of the income we all fighting over 1% of the income. So what's the fuck is a law of attraction to literal crumbs and billions of people? So obviously there got to be some real live changes in the way we look at the world, as opposed to some spiritual mumbo jumbo that don't make no real rational sense. So it's like, I never look at the world like it's all law of attraction, and since you ain't doing law of attraction, that's why you broke. Like, that shit is so disrespectful. That's disrespectful.
Yeah, that's like saying like the ancestors don't give a fuck about you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? On many levels. That's
right.
Yeah, you're right. I ain't never looked at it like that.
Right. So just kind of, you know, allow yourself to trust and grow with people, bro, because a lot of it is going to be in relationships, and your relationships going to teach you a lot about yourself as you grow spiritually and really show interest in your spiritual self. Like, if you have a real spiritual focus to grow and develop that relationship with self, then I guarantee you, with all the money in my bank account, all $2.50, that you know what I'm saying, your spirit ain't gonna let you down, bro.
Thank you, man.
No problem, man. What's your name, bro?
My name Dion Perkins, bro.
Dion Perkins, man. Email me, man, and I'm gonna shoot you my phone number so you can this ain't my phone number, this is just the call in line, just so if you got any things that you need to talk about, you want to text or whatever, I just want to give you my number just in case you need it. And like I said, my family is in Detroit, meaning my wife's family, you know what I'm saying, that in-law is the same thing. I just say my family is in Detroit, so we be in Detroit a lot, so we definitely gonna link up in the future, bro.
So it's gonna be Hood Mystic. I'm already following you on the gram.
Okay. Yeah, send me a message. Send me a message on the gram, and I'll send you my number. Cool.
All right, bet.
All right, bro. You have a good day, bro.
Peace and love, bro.
Peace, bro. So family, I think that's gonna end this call. Nobody else wanted to talk to your boy. You know, you could have called in, and you know I'm paying this money for the queue service, so I need people to utilize this service that I'm paying for. So if I'm talking on somebody and you want to talk, be sure to be the next caller up, and we can try this again tomorrow. We'll have another daily energy reading. I don't know what we're gonna talk about, but it's gonna be a matter of research. And John telling me, that's enough, Dad. Now it's time for you to pay some attention to me. So with all that being said, thank you guys for following me. Be sure to find me on the links in the description. The books is available, PayPal, all of that. Cash App type of stuff, because you know all of this stuff comes with a particular price, but I'll leave that up to y'all to decide if that's something you decide to do. But please utilize it. Links in the description, because this is my business. This is how I support myself, and this is just a choice that I made. So if you find it in your heart to give a little something, I'm gonna definitely be open to it. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys. Oh, another thing, check out the website, check out the transcript as well, and do research on some of these concepts. Do some research on the hippocampus, do some research on anxiety, do research on astrocytes, ASTROCYTE, and get on this astrology for real. With that being said though, I will see you guys on the flip side. See y'all tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Peace. And shout out to Mad Titan too. I didn't ever get a chance to say that because I was on the line. Thank you, bro. Once again, hit me up, bro, if you need anything. Thanks everybody for watching. See y'all later.